Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. This evening I have felt a great urge to do a calling in the Devine team spell, because I think during possibly one of the most difficult times we could all do with some uplifting energy, raising our vibrations and just bringing back some positivity, especially to ourselves and our surroundings during such a difficult time. And because the moon is in her waxing phase, again she's building up to become full, which is her maximum power, the maximum energy. But as she's building up, that's also the energies around us building up. She's fulfilling her potential. And again, that's what I want to do here with my magic. I want it to fulfill mine and your potential. So again, I've gathered all my selenite pieces together. As you know from my last video, I like to use the sphere form because that connects me to the moon, it connects me to the energy, what it is I'm working towards. But I've also connected, there's several pieces of selenite here. And I'd just like to mention where I source my selenite from. It's a business called Brambles in the Hull city centre, and it's a lovely lady who runs the shop. Her name's Michelle, and she sources absolutely everything that I could possibly need for me to have successful positive manifestations, spells, rituals, healing energy, absolutely everything. So the things that I do source from her, I do use in my video, and I do feel out of respect that she needs to be mentioned, because without her I would find it difficult to source the most natural tools that I use, because it's all very well buying things off Amazon and eBay, but unless it's from an actual retailer that you can guarantee that they source only the most natural ingredients, stones, crystals, especially with crystals, the way they're harvested, again, I like them to be done in the most natural way possible, with at least trauma to the crystal as possible. The same with the herbs. I know that Michelle sources these, or she only gets them from places where they're grown in the right environment, they have the most magical properties, and they're not anything that's fake or has had loads of additives, preservatives, chemicals added to them. So again, as I go along and use my tools, I will give a little shout out to her, because again, it's thanks to her little shop and her knowledge that I'm able to pull things like this together and raise my own vibrations. And she's also got she's now working from her eBay shop, understandably, so I will leave a link in the description box to her eBay store where you can purchase pretty much everything that I'm using, and I can pretty much guarantee that if she doesn't have it, she will certainly source it for you through the right means, rather than just sending you here, there or anywhere and getting it from anybody. She will source it from the correct place so that you are getting the highest standard of a product that you need. Now secondly, I do have here my witches. This is my personal book of shadows. This isn't what I write down, what I use in my rituals. This is what I write down about how I feel during my spells and rituals, energy work that I do, and my meditations. This is my go-to book, and this was gifted to me by my daughter, but it was made by a beautiful lady from the No Soul Society. Now she makes these individually and personally for anybody who is wishing to purchase one. Now I can guarantee myself that the intrinsic detail that goes into these books is like nothing I've ever seen before. Like even the corner covers have these like metal clasps on. The binder in the book, the spine of the book, the pages, they're all stained. It's like parchment paper. The ribbon, everything is delicately made to perfection. And she doesn't just make these products and then forget about them and move on to the next project. She remembers every single one she made and how much energy and time and effort goes into these, and these are one of her life's works, and they're absolutely fantastic. And the energy that they hold once it's been cleansed and you've made it personally yours, the energy that these hold is absolutely unreal. It's almost like it has its own vibrational energy, and it's sat on my shelf, and I always know when it's time to get it out, because it's like I can feel it, it's like a pull. So again, no soul society, and I'm not endorsing them or anything like that. I just think where good work is given, it deserves to be recognised for what it is. So again, with the place I go to, Brambles, they need to be recognised for the passion that they put into the things that they sell to the customer. And the same with this, it's done with love, it's done with passion, and this is my go-to personal book of shadows. Even if it just becomes a dream journal for yourself or a diary, again, it becomes much more personal because it was made specifically for you. And it's something that hopefully you keep for a lifetime. It becomes a very, very personal object, and I could not be without this now. If anything was to happen to this, then I would be in a very erratic emotional state of mind for a while, that's for sure, because it means a lot to me. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful, right-sized book for any witch, any working witch, anybody who deals in aromatherapy. It is literally an all-rounder good book, it really is. And the little stones that I put on the front again, they're just, it's so intrinsically designed, and they are just a beautiful piece of artwork. So well done to the lady who creates these, because they are beautiful. So now we'll get back to the task in hand, which is calling in the Devine to help raise our vibrations and also remove any negative blocks that we might have up against us at the minute that are stopping us from possibly seeing the future, moving forward. If you're just feeling very low, again, because the moon is in its waxing phase, her energy is building, which, as I said in my last video, we are all connected to Mother Earth, which means we're connected to the moon, the oceans, the tides. The moon pulls in the tide and pulls in and makes the tide out again. The same with our emotions. As the moon is building, so is our emotions. And emotions can get quite high. Hot-headed, arguments, frail tempers, things feeling like they're getting a little bit out of hand because the energy is it's really bringing it in, it's growing. So that with this energy work that I'm doing here this evening, it's just going to help taper it down a little bit. It's going to raise our vibrations to where they need to be, but help keep us centered, help keep us focused in the moment, trying to relax as much as possible, calling in our divine team to help us out, especially with difficult things that we're facing. And you'll know they're there, because all you have to do when we finish this ritual is for you to say, my divine team, guides, please leave me a gift or a sign that you are here with me. And obviously it's not going to be instant, but believe you and me, they will leave a gift or a sign, coin, a feather, anything. You will know when you see it. As soon as you see it in your intuitive voices, that's it, that's the sign. Doesn't matter what it is, you will know. That's them letting you know we're here. We're here to help. We await for you to ask us to come and help, because they can't just come in and do it. They have to be honoured, and the door has to be open for them to come through, because they never mess with free will. They never get involved with people's options, actions or decisions. They have to be invited, because you know it's the law in the divine world. They can't mess with free will. Same with spell work. It's never right to mess with free will. That's why I would never do a love spell if anybody asks me, because again, you're messing with free will, and that's not something that generally we like to believe in, because well, I'm not going to go too deep into it because I'm just going to take up time. Maybe that's another video I can do. But as you can see, again, for the purpose of the video, I've called in the corners. I like to do this in my own time. I like to call in each individual one in my own personal, I like to do it with my own personal reference to it. It makes it all the more special to me. But again, I will explain further on down the line how I do this, why I do it, and why it's actually quite important. But for the purposes of the video, I've done it already, but I will shut it down. I do have my magical go-to protection elixir, which again I create myself, and these will be made available shortly, and my protection pulse point anointing oil. I have my angelic bell, again, which you saw in the last video. This is me opening up the gateway to Devine to allow them to know it's okay to come in, I'm ready to work. I have my selenite, I have my Florida water, my black salt, the corresponding herbs, and also the herbs here that I will go through. There's quite a few now. Again, these were all purchased from Brambles. Again, I'll link the online eBay shop in the description box below. And they're absolutely amazing because each one is individually packaged. Oh, God, they're all wanting to come out. Right, these two want to come out. They're individually packaged, but they also come with a piece of paper on what the actual herb is. I'll just show you. I've just knocked out one of my candles. I do apologise, Guardians of the West. This is why I have my working cloth, so I don't ruin my table. And they're so well packaged, I can't get into them. Well done, Michelle. So, they come with the month that they correlate to. I'm going to have to keep this away from the candles, or I am going to be getting myself in trouble. They come with what gender they're associated with. They're elemental. They're what they're associated with the elements. How you can use it as a pot puree, a solar spell, and she does a write-up of what each individual herb can be used for, their properties, if there's possibly any dangers with handling them, if they're safe around pets, children. And again, at the back, she does a write-up if it can be used within a spell, with very easy to follow instructions. And again, you know, we like to do spells. I like to do spells my own way, because it's the same with my cooking. I never follow the instructions. If I know it off my head, I do everything by the mind. I know when something's ready, I know when it's cooked, I know when you just seem to know. But when you're just starting out, or you're feeling like your energy's a little bit out of sorts, these are great just to come back to and sort of give yourself a bit of a reminder. And then the herbs come, obviously this is chrysanthemum, the herbs come nicely packed, and you can see there's a good amount there. So you do get a decent amount for what you're paying, and they're dried out properly, so you're not going to get, because I've purchased herbs before, and by the time they've come from the retailer to me, they've rotted because they've not been dried out properly, or they've not been stored properly. But these are always dried out correctly. Again, they come in the right amount, because when you're doing spell work, you only need small amounts. You don't need huge amounts unless you've got a cauldron in the back garden and you're doing spells for the world. So then you're going to need tubs and tubs of it. But it's just enough for you to get through before, and I can guarantee you normally use all of it before it's lost its properties, basically. I like to work with chrysanthemum because it's for protection. It's a big protection herb. And again, when you're working with the Devine and you're opening up portals, you need protection herbs, because it helps empower the cone of power that was witches raise when we're opening up our circle. So again, I very, very rarely purchase my herbs offline anymore. Brambles is my go-to shop. She always has what I want, and if Michelle doesn't have it, like I say, I can guarantee you can have faith and confidence in her that she will source it from the correct place. So we'll be using more herbs soon. I'm going to sort of do a bit of a pick and mix when I choose the herbs that I'm using for this ritual. because I always believe that the divine sort of speak out and be like, it's that one and it's this one. And, you know, I know what the normal properties are of each herb. I have done herbalism. So I do know what each one corresponds with and how it can help in my ritual. I don't ever go too deep into them in my videos because then that just gets boring for people who aren't really interested in herbalism. So again, if there's a certain herb that jumps out, you can source information from Google about this, or you can reach out to Michelle from Brambles and she'll be more than happy to help. But also myself as well, just leave me a comment in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to discuss in depth what it is that I'm using and why. So I've opened up my circle, my cone of power. I have my chosen crystals here again that I purchased from Brambles. I've put these in the centre of my circle because I really wanted to charge them up, because I'm going to be sort of sitting and meditating with these once the herbs are burning. Again, as we did in the last video, I'd like you to join in with this, not just watch the video, but join in with me, because again, energy is ever reaching. It's there for both me and you. You are participating in this by being here. No, it's not evil. No, we don't believe in the devil. There is no devil in the craft. Everything is for the highest good and for the best intentions for all. So we have, what I tend to do is I save my brown paper bags. I cleanse them and I charge them, obviously, for my magical workings, but then I write. You write on the paper. Any paper will do, but I tend to like to use brown paper or parchment paper. We write on it what we'd like our divine team to help out with, things that you're struggling with, whether it's mentally, physically, or things that, again, while the moon's in a waxing phase, things that you'd like to bring towards you. You'd like your divine team to come closer. You'd like your spirit guides to come closer. And as we sit and meditate on the herbs, it's also good to have it written on the paper, and we burn that also because it's just like an added ingredient to say that this is what we would like to come towards us. So with my protection elixir, I'm just going to spray that around, on the candle there. I'm going to use my protection elixir on my pulse points. The reason I have one in a spray and one in a roller bottle is because one is diluted a lot weaker compared to the spray. The one that I rub on my pulse points is diluted extremely weak because essential oils are extremely strong and extremely penetrative on human skin. A lot are quite unsafe to use in pregnancy, so if you are expecting, please do, before you use any essential oil, speak to your doctor or an aromatherapist to see if that is safe to use in pregnancy and how it should be diluted. This is lavender and geranium and coconut oil. This is diluted in a weaker form for me so that when it absorbs, it doesn't affect me. I get the positive properties. I normally burn white sage because, again, it's cleansing, it's uplifting, it's sages. I use it as my sage for my area, and it's good. This is a good one to connect with for the divine. I also like my nag champa, or shandon as this one is. Again, it's very uplifting. It's the aroma that you need to get sort of to the divine. It's something that they recognise as, yeah, duty calls were needed, and it helps pull them in. And when you've got a protected, clean, beautifully smelling sacred workspace, it makes them want to come in even more. Same with the Palo Santo. Again, this is a sacred sage that shouldn't just be burnt and left to burn without it at least being acknowledged for the magical properties that it has. I use this to sage my area, to cleanse, purify. I acknowledge its sacred properties and I welcome in the energies that come from that. Again, I have my working ancient candle. I use this as my centre candle that brings all the elements into oneness. And I also have my divine team candle, which I light in honour of them, and I use it as an thanks for them working with me. This is my offering bowl. In here I always have my Devine chosen crystal, fresh fruit. I always keep, it's a lucky penny. I've had it for a very, very long time, so it's extremely lucky to me. This is what I offer to the gods and my Devine team, and also honey, which is in this little pot. I can't keep it in there because it will attract all sorts of nasties to the fruit, which we don't want. But honey in its purest form is quite solid. It's not the liquid, sugary, preservative type that you buy at the shops. When it's pure honey, it comes in more of a solid form. And again, this is sacred, just as milk and honey is. It's sacred to the divine. The Egyptians seen it as a sacred element. It's used in a lot of things today, i.e. royal jelly, face creams, things like that. It's used in things that it shouldn't be, because again, this is something that's made by bees, and bees, I believe, belong to the divine, because we couldn't possibly sustain the food that we have today if it wasn't for bees. They're dying out, and it's because of pesticides, and well, I'm not going to get into it in the video, but this small segment was from a beehive, and it was harvested the correct way. It was harvested without using smoke or anything like that. It's cruelty free. You know, no bees were harmed in the making of this video. And this is what it comes in its natural form. And I would offer nothing short of perfect to my Devine team and my angels and spirit guards, because of everything they do to help me and keep me and my family safe. As I say, nothing short of perfect is for them. And again, with my offering, it comes in the abalone shell. And this, again, is something that's pure. It's naturally, you know, it's what the divine recognises as, it's not been traced in an aggressive manner where chemicals are used and you know, things get damaged beyond recognition. You know, these are taken respectfully and without, well, possibly as least damage to our oceanic friends as possible. So once I've finished my ritual, I always leave this out for my divine. When the fruit does start to rot, I compost it in the most natural way. I give it back to Mother Earth. Same with the honey. Especially in the summertime, it's good to leave it back out for the bees. Same with, dandelions. I know they're annoying and people like to get rid of them, but please remember, when spring comes and you see the dandelions, don't see them as weeds. They are the very first food that the bees look for when they're coming out from their hibernation. This is the first thing that they source their pollen from. So yes, get rid of some that look horrific, but please remember just to keep some for the bees, because this is their first source of food from coming out of wherever they've been or wherever they're coming from. This is their first source of food. Enough of me rambling on, let's crack on. So, oh, I need my pot. So we have Florida water, just a little bit, not a lot. Dabble do ya. My homemade black salt. Oh, I'm throwing it everywhere. Oh, great, let's just have a salt party. Natural sea salt crystals and the charcoal remains from previous ritual. I'm just going to leave that there actually. It's not going to do no harm. My black salt from previous charcoal remains. I throw this around my working area, again just to add protection, to let Devine know that I'm classing this area as sacred. It's now very salty, so I do apologise, and a flick for over the shoulder. Just make sure I'm not missing anything out, because I will kick myself later and want to do the ritual all over again if I feel like I'm missing something. No, I'm not. So I bring in the mortar and pestle. The herbs in these jars I'm using again are the Flying Devil's powder. Now again, some herbs I won't touch with my hand because I know that they're toxic, but others I will touch with my hand because I know that they're safe for me. So the Flying Devil helps you connect with Devine. It sort of raises your vibrations, keeps your vibrations that you've risen at that point beyond the ritual or the spell. The next one I'm using is an aura combination. This is to protect your aura. It helps close up any holes or any negative energies that are trying to get in through your aura. This is like a fixer-upper. This is what keeps it strong, keeps the colours bright, and you'll notice when you've got a good healthy aura and your vibrations are at the right peak, because everything is vibration. You know, anything that has a high vibration is something that's solid, something that you can work with, and you get a good energy from it. Whereas when it's a lower vibration, it tends to become more squishy and more of a liquid form. Yeah, we've all learnt this one way or another. So when our vibrations are low, again, we tend to be more fluid. We sort of, you know, we flow from one emotion to the next. We become quite unstable, whereas this is just raising our vibration to keep us more stable, keep our aura strong, raise our vibrations. The next herb, as I say, we're going to do just a little quick go through. I'm just going to have a quick look at what we've got. Michelle's going to be horrified that I've got so many and I haven't used them all yet. Yes. No, we don't want that one. Ooh, blackberry leaf, yeah. That's a powerful, powerful herb in protection and in invocations. No, I don't really want the devil's claw. Hyssop. Purification. Yeah, spiritual protection. I like that. Good writer. And one more. No, not that. This is sunflower. Yeah, we'll use that. We could do with some comfortable happiness. Rose, definitely, because the Devine love rose. The smell is just on its own completely divine. So is also yarrow and orchid. Those sort of plants are... Oh, this is coming out in a little bit. It's my fault. So this one is the rose, ruling planet Venus and connected with the moon. Sign of Pisces, the element water. Again, this is connected to Devine, protection. The next one is sunflower, connected again to Leo. It's connected to the sun. It's fire. This can be to do with fertility or anything that you'd like, something new that you'd like to bear. It's a very, very happy herb. It's got a very happy energy. So again, we need that energy to raise our vibration. Hyssop. This is to aid in physical and spiritual protection. Now again, all these herbs are for ritual use only. These are not something you can store in your culinary herb cupboard and use for your mum's or yourself's stew, because you will very, very quickly find out that that's not what they are intended for. So please keep them away, high up on a shelf, away from tiny fingers and tiny paws. So yeah, hyssop, that's for our spiritual and physical protection. Again, connected with Devine. And then we have blackberry leaf. This is to keep away evil spirits, which again is what we need, especially when we are calling the Devine, because we don't want anything else sneaking through either. This can also attract the fairy spirit. So again, if you work with fairies, excellent for them. But again, it's connected to the divine, and that's everything that we're working for tonight. So if you need to pause the video while you go find yourself some paper, just want to remind you so you don't forget, pause me, go get some paper, write on it that you would like to bring towards you so that we can burn it as we get further into the spell. Again, I'm just going to bring these into the middle and working in a clockwise motion, because working clockwise you're positively bringing energy towards you. When you go in an anti-clockwise motion, it's things that you push away. So when the moon is in her waning phase, that's the kind of motion that I like to use. Also can be used in hoodoo and voodoo rituals, or when you work in sort of black magic. I tend to think I'm more in the grey area, like if God forbid I ever needed to use defensive magic for my, for me and my family, then of course I would. But it would also be done with harm to none. It'd just, as I say, be used as a form of protection. I've just got to give this a right good grinder. Get it down to its most powdered form as possible. So there we go with that. And I bring in Mr. Old cast iron cauldron. Pop him on his heat-proof stand, because again, just because he's got these on legs doesn't mean that his legs don't get hot, because they do. I have my charcoal, which again you can purchase from Brambles or from her online shop. I break mine in half because again, we're not burning a huge amount of herbs. So to save myself the charcoal, the smoke inhalation and possibly lung damage from breathing in this much, you only need half. So here we go on my working candle again. I make sure it gets a right good old light. Again, it does spit embers off, hot embers, so be careful where they land. Make sure you're not near anything that's extremely flammable. Now usually you do let the charcoal go white before you do burn your herbs on it, but for the purpose of the video I have found out that even if the charcoal is still currently heating, it reaches its maximum hot temperature extremely quickly. So even right now, if I was to put anything on it, it will burn. And it's instant light charcoal, so again, extremely useful for working witches, especially if you need to work a very, very quick ritual or healing. They're pretty much instant, so they are great to work with. So that's in there. So now we bring our herbs across. Oh, my arm. I'm struggling with my arm. So I'm going to take my chosen crystal. As I pop on these herbs, I'd like you to either sit and just watch the smoke, or sit and concentrate and ask your divine team that they have permission to come forward, and that you would like your vibrations to vibrate at a higher level, that you would like to bring towards you happy emotions, happy memories, for them to bring their divine help, their divine guidance. That you're allowing them to come forward, to step forward, to bring divine healing energy into your situation or your household. Now remember, this is extremely serious. I am not messing, guys, when I do these rituals. And I do this and I record it because I feel selfish calling in the divine just for myself. I was given the gift of being able to use my third eye, have psychic abilities, and it's something, when I believe you're gifted with it, it shouldn't be anything that you ever charge people for. I was gifted with it, and it's because I was here to help spread healing, spread positive messages. So this is here not just for me, but for everybody who's willing to participate in this. As I said before, energy's ever reaching. So as we burn the herbs, we're just going to concentrate on the smoke and what it is that we'd like to bring towards us during this difficult time, and that we give the divine permission to come towards us with divine help, divine love, and to remove any negative blocks or remove negative situations that we are dealing with. There's some for me, some for you. Now as that's going, I'm going to ring my bell and let Devine know that we're ready. Our piece of paper that we wrote on and folded, again, burn it on the working candle, pop in there, and we put some herbs on the top, and again concentrate on what it was that you asked the divine for. So we'll pop the lid on that now, put it to one side, put it on the cooker because that's heat proof. And that was us raising our vibrations and calling in our divine help. So I have explained everything I've used. Again, please watch the manifestation spell video if there's anything that you've not quite understood, because I go into more detail there as well. Or again, pop me a comment in the comment section and I do try to answer as many as I can. But now we're going to go into closing down the circle, letting the divine know how grateful we are and thankful they are for being here and for blessing us with divine energy, love, and keeping us as safe and protected as possible during these difficult times. Again, the offering that I'll be leaving will be somewhere safe in the garden where no animals or anything can get to it, and the divine will let me know when it's time to come and collect in when they've taken the energy that they need from this. People often say when they come to my house, why do you have strawberries in your garden? Why do you have bananas? Why do you have this? Why do you have that? Why do you have eggs just on the grass? And admittedly I do sometimes feel a bit embarrassed, but I always say that's, you know, food for thought, food for the soul. It's my way of saying thank you to Mother Earth and the divine. My flowers, I don't like to just throw them out. I always put them back to Mother Earth on the grass until I know that they're fully died, until she's really taken every sense of bit of energy and essence left, to the point where you pick them up and they just disintegrate in your hand. So now we're going to close down the circle, and I will do it correctly this time because I do feel more centered. So this is classed as releasing our space. So I bring in my compass, wait for the needle to drop. Yep, there we go. So we start in the north. Guardians, guards and ancestors of the north and earth, we thank you for your presence and protection. Keep us rooted in your rich soil so our spirits grow steadily until we return to your protection again. Hail and farewell. West. Guardians, guards and ancestors of the west and water, we thank you for your presence and protection. Keep us flowing ever towards wholeness in body, mind and spirit until we return to your protection again. Hail and farewell. South. Guardians, guards and ancestors of the south and fire, we thank you for your presence and protection. Keep your fires ever burning within our soul to light up any darkness and drive it away until we return to your protection again. Hail and farewell. East. Guardians, guards and ancestors of the east and air, We thank you for your presence and protection. Keep your winds blowing fresh with ideas and hopefulness until we return to your protection again. Hail and farewell. Great Spirit, Ancient One, thank you for blessing this space. We know that a part of you is always with us as a still small voice that guards and nurtures. Help us listen to that voice and trust in our magic. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Divine angels, guardian angels and ancestors and universe, we thank you for being here this evening, for providing us with angelic protection, divine love and guardians. We send you away with love in our heart, but to meet again in the same way. Blessings be, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. And also your excess candle wax, I don't throw these, I melt them back down with wax from my other working candles, and I create an even more personal candle that's meant for me. And I always relight this again in honour of the Devine. I will now, oh yeah, I've done that. So, this was our calling in our Devine team. This was raising our vibrations. Hopefully you'll get something from this video, even if it's just inspiration, that even though times are difficult, by working together with love in our heart, we will get through this. And I hope to see you again when I do my next video on the full moon and then also the waning moon. So take care, my loves. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.